Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I'm Terry Brewer. There are changes happening at Tuscaloosa's Cobb Hollywood 16 movie theater. Law enforcement officials in Tuscaloosa County are beefing up security.
This move comes on the heels of a weekend shooting that sent one teen to the hospital and another to jail.
The details on how customers might notice the changes are in our top story tonight at 5 o'clock. Tuscaloosa County Sheriff Ted Sexton says he's met with Tuscaloosa's police chief, Cobb Theaters, and Pate Properties this week. He says patrons of the Cobb Theater can expect to see aggressive enforcement by TPD and the Sheriff's Office. This coming weekend, last Saturday night, a teenager was shot in the theater parking lot. Tuscaloosa County homicide investigators have been interviewing witnesses this week to get more information. Sheriff Sexton says his department will be expanding their role in enforcing laws like the 11 p.m. curfew.
The off-duty sheriff's deputies will be working, and additional off-duty deputies have been hired, and they will also be enforcing municipal ordinances, which is something that we don't normally do. Sheriff's deputies normally enforce state law. In this particular case, since we have concurrent jurisdiction, we will be enforcing municipal ordinance, which could mean, for example, loud music, the curfew violations, and so on. So we're going to take a very aggressive stand.
The victim in Saturday's shooting was treated at DCH Regional Medical Center and then released. 3 people were arrested in connection with the shooting. 17-year-old Arthur Bryant was charged with attempted murder. Tuscaloosa County homicide investigator Kip Hart tells WVUA the shooting may be gang-related. Coming up tonight at 6, hear what Tuscaloosa police say about their investigations into gangs in Tuscaloosa.
Dozens of University of Alabama students are returning a week early to help with Tuscaloosa storm recovery. The students are volunteering with the University Outdoor Action Program. It combines community service with academic sessions. Today, about 50 students helped clean up Hurricane Creek in Tuscaloosa County. The students told us this experience is a way to give back to the community.
You know, you can be in air conditioning and you can work behind a desk, and that's perfectly fine, but to actually get out and help somebody and see on their face what you're doing, and you get to watch with your eyes the difference you're making, that really is just wonderful, because you can't put that into words, you know?
Hurricane Creek belongs to everybody, not just me or the friends of Hurricane Creek. This is a community resource. And as long as it stays in the condition that it's in now, it's an unusable resource. So if we can clean it up and make it viable again before the paddle season for canoers and kayakers and people to come back and enjoy the creek, it's like a calling card for the county.
The students are also helping children at the temporary site for Holt Elementary School. They now attend Lloydwood Middle because their school was damaged by the storm. The students are spending time mentoring children in the classroom and also working on some landscaping projects.
The University of Alabama is planning a campus-wide memorial service to honor the victims of the April 27th tornado. University officials say the service will also honor the community heroes who responded after the storm. The event will be held around Palmer Lake on the north side of campus. UA officials say this will be the first time for the entire university family to gather together to remember the victims, celebrate what has been gained, and prepare for the future. The service is set for Sunday, August 28th.
Alabama's new immigration law goes into effect 2 weeks from today, and controversy surrounding the law is growing. 14 Alabama legislators have filed a brief in federal court saying the attempt by the U.S. Justice Department to block the new law treads on state sovereignty. The lawmakers saying the federal government is also trying to undermine the state's law. They say the Department of Justice claims Alabama's law conflicts with the U.S. Constitution and federal law, but Alabama has a right to govern itself. The law goes into effect September 1st.
Partlow Developmental Center is now part of an investigation of sexual abuse. According to the Alabama Department of Mental Health, a criminal investigation was started after a known pedophile admitted he had sex with a boy at Partlow. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid have filed a report citing Partlow for failing to protect the boy. The adult was admitted to Partlow back in 1995. Partlow is scheduled to close on or before November 30th.
BP is answering questions about the Gulf of Mexico again. This comes after a new oil sheen has been spotted in the Gulf of Mexico. BP says the discovery has nothing to do with its operations. Officials say it is far from the site of its disaster-hit Macondo well. That is where an explosion killed 11 workers and led to the largest oil spill in U.S. history. It poured millions of gallons of oil into the Gulf. BP says this latest sheen is near two abandoned exploration well sites in the Green Canyon block in the Gulf. Although its size and exact location were not disclosed, the Green Canyon block is south of Louisiana. Meanwhile, some good news for Alabama's Gulf Coast. According to Baldwin County officials, tourism was up significantly in June. Officials say a record $54.7 million was brought into the city thanks to lodging. That's up more than 8% from June 2007. Early reports for July say the trend from June should continue into the rest of the summer months.
3 people have now died from a microscopic amoeba that lives in water. Health officials say a Florida teen, a Virginia boy, and now a Louisiana man have all died from the amoeba. Louisiana officials say the young man used tap water to flush out his sinuses. More cases of the rare infection are caught while swimming in lakes or ponds. Officials at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention say the amoeba was identified in the 1960s and about 120 U.S. cases have been reported since then. Experts say the amoeba goes up into the nose and burrows in the skull.
In Aruba, a new twist in the search for a missing American woman. Robyn Gardner has been missing for more than 2 weeks. Authorities say the prime suspect in the case had taken out insurance on Gardner and himself. Now officials say Gary Giordano had explicit photos of Gardner in his camera. Officials say Giordano is partially visible in some of those pictures, and they appear to have been taken in Aruba. Gardner was staying in the same hotel as missing Mountain Brook teenager Natalie Holloway, who went missing back in 2005 while on a high school graduation trip.
On your Health Watch, getting ready for college. That means it's time to pack up those blankets, pillows, and books.
But it also means it's time to get those vaccinations. John Lisk has more.
Like other college freshmen, Grayson Gilmore has a lot to worry about before school starts. But getting any required vaccinations is not on the top of her checklist.
That was a breeze.
Every state and university has different requirements for new students, but generally speaking,
Most schools will probably either require or strongly recommend measles, mumps, and rubella, a varicella titer, which is chickenpox, or proof of having had the disease, hepatitis B, and a tetanus.
because students live in such close quarters while at school, health officials encourage college-age kids to also be vaccinated against sexually transmitted HPV, pneumonia, hepatitis A, and meningitis.
Many at that age group will frequently share a drink or share a towel, and so meningitis has been shown to have an increased incidence in close living quarters such as a dorm.
And even though many in this generation may think they are invincible, doctors disagree and urge them to get their flu vaccines.
I hope that I can remember to get my flu shot so I won't ever have to get the flu.
Dr. Olson also advises incoming freshmen to remember to keep their rooms clean, stay healthy. Advice that parents will be happy to hear.
And that was John Lisk reporting. For more information about immunization requirements at the University of Alabama, you can go to our website, WVUATV.com. Just click Numbers and Links.